Today, we'll be doing something a little bit different. Normally, I'd go over a character and their inner darkness, the thematic elements to subtle hints, or the ideals exhibited to change a depressing world in anime. But to be frank, I've been feeling that last one a lot in real life for days now, so I wanted to do something a little more fun and bright. So today, we'll be looking at a pseudo-list video featuring some of the best and worst anime to live in for various reasons. Now this video will be as spoiler-free as possible, so you don't have to worry about skipping ahead or anything like that either. Now obviously I'll only be going over anime I've seen, so if there's something better that I missed, let me know your thoughts down below. Also, I'll be assuming that I'm myself without my memories as a generic character in the anime, not as the main character or someone specific. It's not what I'd usually make, but I hope it's a nice few minutes of entertainment for your day. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this one. This one is the most simple. I could list any number of slice of life anime that are just ordinary life for an easy pick, or something like Pokemon that's mostly our world with some extra bonuses. Even Little Witch Academia, for example, which is just an advanced world that also has magic and doesn't even need it. It's a fairly open category, but it's easiest to live in, not best or most fun, so it's gotta be something along those lines. I have a bit of a sleeper pick for this category though. What if it was just usual life, everything you're accustomed to love and hate alike, but you could also be immortal? Kind of. You'd have to live as a zombie, but a bit of makeup and practice and you look just like you've got blood in your veins still. Sure, you can't go out in the rain or swim or anything water related at all, but still, revival is pretty nice. I'm picking Zombieland Saga for this one because it gives you that option. Its premise is very anime. A bunch of dead girls, ranging from biker gang leaders to 19th century courtesans, are brought back from the dead to breathe new life into the Saga Prefecture of Japan through pop music as an idol group. It kind of makes sense. They half fail, half succeed to spread their musical optimism across the area, growing closer and uncovering their own truths along the way. I wouldn't be a part of that, obviously, but I like the idea of being able to get absolutely demolished by a truck and wake up like nothing ever happened. It sounds like a pretty easygoing existence to me. Now, we don't know how they became zombies, so it could be something hideously messed up, but it works on someone dead for over 150 years, so I'd have to say it's worth a go even with that mystery. Plus, outside of that, it seems like a pretty fun world. Everyone's comically inept, biker gang leaders have Tamagotchi, and lightning strikes can give you laser show powers because, well, anime. But I think you get the point. It's goofy and not much bad happens. Plus, you get to solve all your issues through song and dance, which would be a hell of a lot better than therapy and crying alone in the shower with boxed wine. I mean, you know what I mean. Here, we get to something a little bit more interesting. What anime would be the most fun to live in, where every day would be filled with mind-blowing excitement? I mean, this is anime, so there's a lot of good picks. My Hero has its darker moments, but it's pretty solid here. Often mundane daily occurrences become massive spectacles with obvious good and obvious evil. The first moments of the anime are all about this, and it's a quite perfect hook. Durarara is at least an option as long as you stay on everyone's good side. You shouldn't have any issues, and there's always something mystical and insane going down where ordinary people are canonically pivotal to the action, so it's not a bad pick there. I considered that for a while, but I think its downsides pulled it below my real pick, Appare Ranman. A pseudo-historical take on one of humanity's technological booms, following two men, Appare and Kosame, who end up in America from Japan due to Appare's inventive mishaps. Sure, you're giving up a few things going back to the 19th century, but I wouldn't be aware of the future, so we can forget about those. And although it may seem boring outside of Appare's adventures, I think their world is actually quite bustling. in the midst of a massive American expansion where technology is competing against itself for specified superiority in a no-holds-barred. Which will be the travel of the future, cars or trains, even steam or gas, maybe both? And at the same time, famous outlaws appear in town, causing a stir and mixing in with that very technological battle. It'd be easy to get in on that action. We see Jing joining the race at the last second, and there's nameless characters participating as well. You just need a car, and the world is your oyster, brimming with the excitement for the future, danger for the present, and memories to make for the past. I'm not much of a car guy, but even I'd love to try this. It was my most fun watch of 2020, so it's a natural pick. But there's a caveat on this one that makes it particularly suitable for me. Although it's anachronistic, Appare Ranman is rooted in history, seen clear as Jing faces discrimination from her male counterparts, forced to work harder than most just for a chance. Or Hototo, a Native American boy whose village and family are slaughtered mercilessly. Being a white man makes my time a lot easier than others would have, and even I'd have to hide a few things about myself for sure. It's not perfect, but if we were able to take it away from those dark historical aspects, I think it would be an amazing and fun-filled adventure. Now we get to the opposite end of the spectrum, which anime would absolutely suck to be a part of. I think for my particular anime tastes, there's a pantheon of good, bad options. Psycho Pass's dystopian elements would see me locked up as a criminal for sure. Vinland Saga is a bloodbath where death is celebrated by both friend and foe alike, and Steins Gate sees, well, I can't say without spoilers, but let's just say it's not good for most people depending on the timeline. And those are all my 10 out of 10s. They're all good picks for this bad spot. But they each have the potential for someone to be the hero. There's hope and love for humanity in every one. And there's anime out there that are more grounded in reality, choosing to amplify the worst elements of the real world rather than create heroes out of abstraction. And there's probably none better at that than Black Lagoon. It's one of those pillars of anime where there is no hero going in the exact opposite direction to show us how real people become villains instead. Rock starts as your average businessman hoping for simple and concrete advancements in life. A promotion would be nice so that there's less people above him to treat him like shit. And instead, he's thrust into the depths of the criminal underworld of Roanapur, taking on jobs with the Lagoon Trading Company on anything from child trafficking to gang warfare. Escaping the tedious monotony of that world that makes one feel pointless, only to fall face first into the darkness that makes one feel powerless. A simple pawn under the thumbs of people much worse than them. Former Soviet captains, corrupt cops, drug cartels, and more rule this world he finds himself in. It's very can't beat 'em, then join 'em, showing the worst of humanity perpetuating itself through violence and death. A lot of the signs of hope, the potential for romance for example, aren't outright snuffed out but dropped cold instead, much more like real life. Things don't end abruptly by choice, they're left behind so that we can continue to survive. Black Lagoon nails that feeling, one that's all too real, and I don't need more of that in my life. It hits right in the ideals and leaves a lot of room open for an early death. Not exactly a fun place to be. Also, by extension, this includes Jormungand as well, since they're set in the same slightly fictionalized world. Many of the same things could be said for Jormungand as well, so it's a fitting choice by siblingship. This is my favorite category I chose to include in this video. Something that would still be fun and, at times, easy, but also with its own challenges where I could grow and change for the better through these trials. Something with danger, but also salvation and purpose aplenty and a heaping dose of humanity to fulfill my inner philosophical desires. This one's very much dependent on the writer, so I won't go through any side picks here, and we'll get right into Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. A world with alchemy, the ability to alter matter through natural energy following one principle above all, equivalent exchange. In order to obtain or create something, something of equal value must be lost or destroyed. The Elric brothers discover this principle firsthand, questing to regain the bodies it took from them. Now, I'm going with Brotherhood over the original simply because I haven't seen the 2003 series. Now, this might sound weird at first. FMAB often puts everyday people in danger, using them as stepping stones for the powerful and so on. There's the potential for a terrible life, especially with the Ishvalan War in mind. It's another anime that has to take physical characteristics in mind to avoid personal tragedy. Assuming an average life, however, it offers something quite appealing. A mixture of faith and technology, science and religion which serves to make life easier, take it away, build it back, and so much more in the same breath. It speaks to the worthlessness of humanity physically, but endlessly positively about the soul through a very dark lens. It's a world where study and practice lets you become something quite extraordinary, but in moderated ways. A system of balanced and grounded magic. Sure, there are those who get ahead with Philosopher's Stones, damning others for their own success, or the Elric brothers who become more powerful than anyone average due to their hefty sacrifice. But those who follow a moral path require discovery, study, faith, love, and hope to do well. It's a world that strengthens humanity in the moments where it isn't ripping it away. It wouldn't be easy, but it would feel fulfilling to see study and ideas able to be brought into the physical world so aptly. As someone stuck between dry technology and fluid creativity, hopeful faith and crushing science, the all-encompassing mixture would make me feel at home in my own mind and much more relaxed with my position in life. For me, it would be the most fulfilling anime to live in. So let's break our own rules and put ourselves in the situation or something similar to the hero of any anime. Now this changes things a bit. All of a sudden we can assume hardships will befall us, but we get to succeed and triumph as a hero in one way or another. At least with the right pick we do. I don't think it's controversial to pick an anime with an overpowered MC, so that's going to be something we're gunning for here. If you give me that option, I have to take it. Let's be real. It's also going to be a pretty bright and exciting world, something with magic and adventure. There can be challenges, but we wouldn't want anything too dark. This is a fantasy, so let's make it count. Now that knocks off most of my favorite anime we've already covered, and being honest, a lot of the ones I've seen just in general. There's a few obvious picks like Sword Art Online or My Hero again, but I wouldn't quite want to be either of those. I'd want to be broken in real life instead of just in video games, so no Kirito for me. And I've never been a big superhero person, at least in the traditional All Might-esque sense, so I can't go with My Hero either. Tower of God would actually be interesting. The school-like elements and camaraderie are appealing, and it would make some very genuine bonds while also letting me be pretty powerful, but I'm not about chasing a girl through her power fantasy, so that one's out as well. This isn't something I thought I would ever say, but I think my pick for this one is actually Beastars, I want to eat that fucking rat. But I think my pick for this one is actually Fairy Tail. I'm not a fan of the series. I read it a long time ago and have since grown away from that narrative style. I also don't know what happens past the initial stages of the Tartaros arc. But if I get to be in Natsu's position, I'd take that in an instant. A magical world full of guilds who take on massive quests and adventures, getting to see the world and triumph over evil. Especially in the Fairy Tail Guild, where you go against the grain completely and every day is like a massive, absurd party/fight at the same time. Not only are you the hero, but your name is known throughout the land, spoken about in terms of bravery and power. It's the epitome of "but my friends" in anime, which as a super simplified ideal would be easy and fulfilling to follow. Yes, bad things happen, but the villain always faces justice, oftentimes turning around to the good side even. I said I was gonna take overpowered and bright, so even if I don't like it, I gotta hand this one to Fairy Tail. And those are my picks for 5 of the best and worst anime to live in. A little weighted towards the best side, but I think this was a fun little thing to throw together. And kind of the best part of it is I want to know what you all would pick for yours as well. So whether you want to do one of them or 2 of them or all 5, leave that in a comment down below, because I think this would be interesting to have a fun debate about. Nothing serious where we're just kind of, throwing a few funny or interesting ideas out there and seeing what sticks. So if you want to take a shot at this one, I think that'd be really fun to have our mini debates about down in the comments below. Speaking about below, in the description I'll have a link to my Discord server and my Twitter as well. If you want to follow me a little more closely, chat anime directly, send a random tweet at me, whatever you'd want to do, there are those links down there as well. If you like the video, like it so I know to make more kind of out-of-the-box videos like this one that I don't normally do. Dislike it if you don't like these kind of videos, just so I know what to do moving forward in the future. And of course, let me know what you'd want to see me cover down below as well. Anyway, I think that wraps up everything I needed to say in my generally terrible outro, so I'll stop rambling, let you get back on with your day, and just say thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you again soon. That was a mostly confident outro, I think.